Running a successful business or marketing plan or advertising plan or sales promotion plan, any of those things all require a holistic view and strategy behind it. It's not just one thing.
You're listening to Thrive by Design, business, marketing, and lifestyle strategies for your jewelry brand to flourish and thrive. Let's get started.
Welcome to the Thrive by Design podcast, episode number 88. This is Tracy Matthews of Flourish and Thrive Academy, your Chief Visionary Officer, showing up for you today and bringing you some great info. So we have been working really hard on this amazing promotion that's coming up. I can't wait to tell you about it. But first, I wanted to share with you sort of what's been going on with me because I've been traveling a lot over the past couple of months. In fact, I went to, I think, 3 live events, 3 live events in 4 weeks, which is kind of crazy. I don't know. I love live events and I love going to them, but they are definitely a commitment of time and definitely worth it. But a lot of time was spent at live events because what ends up happening is you get really engrossed in what you're learning and everything else sort of goes on hold for a little bit. So I was at my business mastermind with my mentor, Ryan Levesque, in Puerto Rico. And then I came home for a couple of days. I took a short vacation before and after. Came home for a few days and then went to Victoria LeBaum's Rock the Room speaking event, which was really cool. Any of you who want to get into public speaking, definitely look her up. She's a super cool lady and has a really great ideas around how to develop talks and content that's compelling and really interesting to hear. So one of the things that I learned was that I need to talk more slowly. So I'm trying to put that into action today. And that's sort of why I'm talking about this. But I just literally came back from Brendon Burchard's High Performance Academy and I loved it. And the thing that I loved about it so much is that the secret behind high performers is not just how productive you are, but the productivity becomes a lot from the way you approach work and how you take care of yourself and how you manage your energy. So that was very exciting to me because as a former yoga teacher and a lifelong yogi, I call myself a lifelong yogi. Well, I will be for the rest of my life, but I started practicing yoga over 20 years ago and I taught it for probably 12 or 13 years, something along those lines. And so for me, it was really fascinating and fun to see someone like Brendon Burchard doing breath work and breathing exercises on the stage. It was pretty cool. I loved it so much. So the exciting news is I'm going to be bringing a lot more of that to you guys here on the podcast and talk a little bit more about meditating and breath work and using that to incorporate into your morning routines and your business practices so that you can become more productive and get more stuff done. I know a lot of you are working other jobs, probably. Some of you have a part-time jewelry business. I know a lot of you are managing families and you have little kids at home that you're taking care of. So you have a lot of responsibilities. Maybe some of you are like me and you have 2 businesses and you're trying to get a lot of stuff done. But all this stuff really integrates together into a holistic approach to business, maybe is the best way to put it. It's not just about being productive and getting to the grind and working a million hours a day. In fact, most highly productive people say that, you don't want to work. You want to make sure that you take time off because if you don't, then you burn out and you're less productive. You want to take care of yourself. In fact, one of the things that he taught, this is a total sidebar, was to take cold baths. So I compromised. I heard this years ago from a coach when I first started life coaching, probably 10 or 15 years ago, this guy named Dave Ellis back in San Francisco. And one of his strategies was to get massage, which I really like that, get massage every week, and also to take cold showers at least once a week or daily. And so I did that for a little bit and then I forgot about it. So Brendon talked about taking ice baths for 10 minutes. Do you know how hard it is to stand in a cold shower, let alone an ice bath for 1 minute? Because I've been doing it. So I started taking cold showers in the morning. I'm working my way up to 10 minutes, but I'm doing 1 minute and then I'm turning on the heat. But just the little bit of coolness really helps your circulation. It helps improve blood flow to your heart and improve blood flow to your limbs and your brain, which is the most important thing because we all want to have a healthy brain. So you might be wondering why I'm talking about these events. It's kind of funny, but I think one of the biggest takeaways that I got from Brendon and from what I learned from Victoria and from what I always learned from Ryan, being part of his community, is that running a successful business or marketing plan or advertising plan or sales promotion plan, any of those things all require a holistic view and strategy behind it. It's not just one thing. It's not just focusing on the marketing or focusing on the sales or focusing on building your wealth or focusing on your energy. It's all integrated and like sort of wrapped up in this tidy little ball. So today I'm really excited to talk about how to plan a successful jewelry promotion, which is sort of like the theme of the month. At the end of the month, we are hosting a really great challenge, which I hope you'll join us for. It's called Pretty Little Profits, the 5-day jewelry promo challenge. That's Pretty Little Profits, the 5-day jewelry promo challenge. It's a completely free challenge. It's 5 days. We've designed this to make it really easy for you to come up with an idea for promotion, get it going within 5 days, and start selling by the end of it. So we're really excited about it. We haven't done a challenge in a while, so this will be fun. And for those of you who've been part of our boot camps or part of our incubators or any of our intensives, you know that when we host challenges, we go full out, or boot camps or whatever, we go full out. It's like you're taking a course from us, and it's completely free. So I hope you'll join us. I'm going to have a link in the show notes. You can check it out over at flourishthriveacademy.com/episode 88. That's flourishthriveacademy.com/episode 88. Yeah, so go check it out because we'd love for you to join us. All right, so let's dive into the episode today. I'm excited for this. I don't know about you. So we're talking all about how to create a marketing plan for your jewelry promotion, which is really important because I think a lot of us just think, oh, Mother's Day is coming up, or graduation, or Father's Day, or Valentine's Day, or National Siblings Day, whatever you want to promote for. And it might not even be a holiday, right? You might have just another reason why you want to create a promotion. Maybe you're trying to get rid of extra inventory, or you want to have a Facebook trunk show, or you want to do a promotion to your email list. There are lots of reasons why you might want to have a promotion, but these basic principles will work for any of them. You just want to think it through. So ideally, we're having a 5-day challenge, which is great because it's going to get your bootay in gear to get things going really quick. Ideally, you'd want to plan it out, a little bit further in advance to the holiday or to whatever event you're going to do. I would say, depending on the length of what you're doing and how motivated you are to get the promotion going, give yourself anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks to plan. So that's the most important thing. So you'd really want to start with your objective. So the first thing is what's the point of this? Why you want to have this? Is it for a holiday, or is it just because you want to get rid of inventory? Is it for another reason like list building or something like that? Most jewelry designers / makers / e-commerce businesses are probably going to be hosting a promotion to actually make sales. So I think for probably 99.9% of you, the reason for your promotion will be to create brand buzz or sales, hopefully. There could be other reasons, but that, to me, that is what first and foremost comes to mind. So you want to really think about your desired outcomes. You also want to think about what you're going to be offering. So are you going to be offering a discount? Are you going to be bundling goods? You're going to do a buy one, get one free. There's a lot of different things that you can do. I don't necessarily recommend discounts, but I think bundled offers do really well. You can use these same principles also to launch a new collection, which is pretty cool. So lots of things that you can do here. And then you want to think about how long the promotion is. So promotion can range for a variety of different lengths of time. So for instance, if you're doing a Mother's Day or Valentine's Day or holiday promotion for the Christmas and Hanukkah holidays, you might be promoting for 4 weeks out. But if you're doing something let's say you want to have a weekend flash sale, you might only be promoting for 2 days. So really get clear on the length of the promotion because that's going to really determine the amount of work that you're doing up front and how much you have going on. And I think in most cases, it's probably specific to the holidays. So think about that, or whatever the event it is that you're creating. So the next thing you want to do is to list out your goals. So what are your actual goals? I know I talked a little bit about this on the objectives with the desired outcome, but you want to set some goals. So is it a number of bundles or units? Is it sales? Is it leads? Is it something else? Is it just for exposure or launching a new collection? So list out the goals. So try to put a metric next to it, some sort of number or monetary measurement, so that you can actually measure your results, because this will be important. And what I highly recommend that you do is you track any metrics before you start the promotion and after the promotion. So you might want to track your email list subscribers, your stats. You might also want to check unsubscribes. I wouldn't have you totally worry about that number as much because you will lose people on your list when you're promoting something. But you might want to track the uptick in email list subscribers, an uptick in sales, track your goal versus what your actual sales. And you can also track metrics from anything that you've done last year. So if you did a promotion around the same holiday or a similar type of event, you can track sales based on that. So list out your goals, because you really want to think this through about what your goals might be for this promotion. Then don't forget the most important thing. So we talk a lot here over at Flourish and Thrive Academy about understanding who you're targeting. So hopefully before you've started your promotion and your brand and all that stuff, you have a pretty clear idea on who your dream client is. But if you don't, or you're creating something specific for a specific audience, make sure that you're laser targeted on who you're actually promoting to, who your target demographic is for. So, we talk about creating one specific avatar, which is really great because you can pretend like you're only writing to that person as you're creating all that content. All the content that's going to come up with this promotion. I know sometimes when we write emails for both of my brands, I think of my avatar and I actually write to that person in their name. So it's a really great way to really get into the head of your dream client to find out who you're writing to. But then, you might want to, I don't normally suggest this, but you might also want to go a little broader with like a target demographic of who you want to target. And the main reason why you'd want to do this is if you're running ads, because you would want some demo information on who you'd want to run ads to. We're not going to go in depth into ads. If you want to check out Facebook Ads 101, check out our podcast that we did a couple weeks ago with Kathleen Cutler. It is episode number 83. You can check that out, Facebook Ads 101 for jewelry designers. She walks through the basics of Facebook ads. We're not going to go in depth in that here, but I will definitely have a link to that in the show notes. And speaking of that, you might want to, if you're not really clear on who your dream client is, you might want to check out our free training, How to Find Your Dream Client, which is really helpful training on just getting the basics of that. So if you're not clear, make sure that you check out that training, which I will also link in the show notes. So the next step to create a marketing plan, a really good, solid marketing plan for your jewelry promotion is to develop the strategy. So what is it that you want to do to promote? Do you want to do email marketing, social media, blog content? Do you want to run ads? Do you want to do retargeting? Do you want to get other media exposure? So think all of those things through. So I'm going to walk you through each of them just on a high level so you can think about things that you can do for each of these strategies. So you'd want to think about email marketing. So how are you going to be promoting? Are you going to tease your email audience a week or two out? Typically, I like to tease like about a week to a couple days before to get people excited, send a few emails to get them excited. You can have, if you're an email marketing ninja, you can create hot links so that they can within the email. So people who click on those links are targeted as hot leads and you can send them more emails. There's lots of different strategies here. Then you want to think about the promotional emails you're going to be sending. The number of emails that you'll send are directly related to the length of your offer. So if you have, let's say you're doing like a 4-week Mother's Day promotion, you might have a 7 email plan in that 4 weeks. But if you're doing like a 2-day flash sale, you might write 3 or 4 emails announcing that promotion to promote the product. So really thinking it through, like how many emails you want to send. On the last day, typically of a promotion, don't worry about over sending emails. You definitely want to send a few, not just, one. You want to send like 2 to 3 on the last day for sure. So make sure that you're sending enough emails and you have all those mapped out. So the next thing you want to think about is your social media strategy. So where are you on social media now? Where are you posting? And what kind of content do you want to create for that? And how many times do you want to be promoting that throughout the promotion period? So platforms to think about would be Pinterest, which is not technically social media, but I just sort of wrap it in there. Facebook, Instagram. I mean, YouTube, if you consider that social media, that might be more of an exposure tool, which we'll get back to later. But think of your strategy there. And then also you're going to do lives. You're going to announce this live on your Facebook page. You're going to do Instagram lives or Instagram stories. Think about all these things that you got to do for your social media. So you'd want to map out your promotion plan during that period, but also your nurture plan, because you don't want to only be promoting during that period. You'd also want to create content that's relevant to your offer that you're using during that period as you create it. All right. So then let's move on to one of my favorite topics, your blog. So I think the blog is a really underutilized tool for promotions. There are a lot of things that you can put on your blog that will really help drive your promotion home, because you can use your blog as a platform, even the weeks leading up to your promotion, to build an audience, to build your list, to retarget people who land on that blog post. You can also create multiple blog posts teasing up and email your list, and you can create a series of posts that create anticipation for whatever it is that you're doing. So what I like to think of, like, let's say this is an easy one to think about because it is coming up, and hopefully you can utilize some of these strategies for Mother's Day. So right now we're in mid-April, and when this podcast goes live, it's going to be mid-April, I should say. But, Mother's Day is about a month away. So this week you could write a post on like honoring mothers and then promoting your product. Next week, you could write another post about your like a favorite mother in your circle, or a client of yours, do a client testimonial or a case study of a client wearing your jewelry. Or maybe even like a gift roundup. You could do a Mother's Day gift guide, feature a piece of your jewelry, but also other products in that gift guide. It's a great opportunity. So there's lots of different ways that you can develop content around your offer that's not necessarily pitching your offer, but showcasing your jewelry brand within the content so that it's relevant to your audience, to the people landing there. So brainstorm or think of different ideas that you can post on your blog that surround whatever it is that you're promoting. It doesn't always have to be a straight promotion. There's lots of different things that you can do. In fact, I'm going to link a post that I did about ideas for writing blog posts. So hopefully that's helpful and helps inspire some ideas as well. All right, let's get back to this. So blog content, really important. You can use that. And then the one thing that I think that we forget is that we can repurpose all this stuff for social media too. So a lot of stuff that you write on your blog can be repurposed in different ways, in different snippets on your social media posts. So remember that. Like you can create a pin on Pinterest, something about honoring mothers or 5 ways to honor your mother on Mother's Day, send them to your blog, sell your jewelry on the blog, feature client testimonials, all that stuff. And it's just like sort of like this circular strategy where you can repurpose some of the same stuff that you've already done. So remember that. All right. So then the next step to creating a promotion is you want to decide if you're going to run ads. It's not necessary, but you can. And there's lots of different types of ads that you can run. You could do Pinterest ads where you're doing promoted pins. You can also do rich pins, especially if you're integrating with a platform called Shopify that a lot of you know of and have heard us talk about. In fact, if you haven't checked it out yet, I'm going to put a link in the show notes that gives you our Flourish and Thrive discount. We have negotiated a free trial and a 10% discount off of Shopify themes. So check that out, and I'll link it in the show notes as well if you're interested in checking out Shopify. But Shopify has great integrations and makes promotions like this really easy because you can do bundled offers and upsells and rich pins and all these things that sort of integrate together with your ad strategy and your promotion strategy to make it a lot easier for your website to do the work for you. So that's why I love Shopify so much and I want to talk about it all the time. And I can't wait till my site is actually integrated over there when I launch my e-commerce site coming up really soon. So then you also want to determine if you're going to do Facebook ads and what type of Facebook ads, because there's retargeting ads, which we're going to talk about next, or just straight up ads to your email list. So think about different ways that you can use Facebook ads for this, and make sure that you check out the Facebook ads 101 with Kathleen Cutler. I've linked it in the show notes because that's a really great training to help you sort of get your Facebook ad strategy started, which is super cool. All right. So the next thing you want to think about are retargeting ads. So retargeting is basically when you're sending either people who are already on your email list or who have visited your website ads. And you do this by creating a pixel on your website. I'm not an expert on this, and so make sure that you do your due diligence. I am not a Facebook ads expert, nor do I play one on TV. But I just know this from doing our own ads. You want a pixel on your website or on the landing page where people are joining. And then you can actually feed them ads on social media, or I should say Facebook, not social media, and on the internet to get them back to your site. So have you ever been like on a website and you see something that you just looked at following you around the internet? Well, that's a retargeting ad. So you could do the same thing. It's a little bit more of an advanced strategy, but it's something that works really well to get visitors back to your site. And they're really low cost and inexpensive. And then finally, I think the most important thing, and this is why you kind of need to think it through, is you want to think about the kind of exposure that you're trying to get. And that includes like media exposure, exposure on the web, or any other types of exposure, maybe on TV, that you want to get for this promotion. So there's lots of things that you can do. And you can get exposure in multiple ways. You might even partner with an influencer or someone who has an email list of relevant clients. So I've done this before in the past where I partnered with a coach who worked with brides to help them slim down before their weddings. And she sent on a promotion for wedding bands to them and ended up making a couple sales. And so when you work with an influencer in that way, typically you're going to be paying them some sort of affiliate commission. That gets into sort of a ninja strategy. And bringing this back to Brendan, one of the things that he said and mentioned this, and he was teaching sort of a marketing strategy workshop in one of the evenings. And it was a great reminder, is that you don't want to do too much at once. You want to start very simply first. So your first promotion, keep it simple. But once you start to nail things down, you can start adding on all these multiple layers. So, as I'm saying all this, if you're a beginner to all these marketing strategies, you might not want to do all the things I'm mentioning. You might just want to keep it simple with doing like one blog post, a couple of emails and a couple of social media posts, and that's it. And then get your network out promoting it for you. For those of you who are a little bit more advanced and have been doing this a while, you might add on additional layers and make this a little bit more of a robust plan where you're adding advertising and multiple types of advertising and multiple strategies to really go big. I mean, this is a lot of work, but the more thought out you put it in and the more successful that you can do just little parts of the promotion, the better the entire promotion will happen. So back to exposure, keep it simple, but you can do things like working with some sort of partner in your industry, work with a blogger. You can try to get a TV spot for your promotion, maybe on a local news channel. Other types of media, like if you're really planning in advance for a holiday like Mother's Day or something like that, you have lead time probably enough to pitch to magazines, but that would be done probably 4 to 6 months in advance. And then you can also have a YouTube strategy as well, promote this on your YouTube channel. So the next step to all this, to really bringing it all together, is to map it all out on a marketing calendar. So one of the best ways to do that is to actually I like to keep it simple. I do everything in Google Drive. I'm laughing so hard at myself right now because I can't say Google Drive. So let's just get that in there. I do everything in Google Drive because you can use the Google Calendar. You can actually create a separate calendar for a marketing calendar and put it on a calendar and map it out that way. Another way that was really successful that we did in Google was to use the Google spreadsheet function, or you could also do this in Excel or in Pages. Just make bigger squares, make a calendar in a spreadsheet. And that works really well too, because you can just cut and paste on the days, and it has a tendency to really help you sort of map out all the different channels of content that you want to do and keep it all organized. And in that marketing calendar, you can even have multiple links to all the content, where it is, and keep everything linked together. So it's a really good way to keep things organized and on track so you know when things are launching. So pick the dates. And then the final step to this is to execute. So you can create an execution plan if that works for you, but it's really about staying on top of that marketing calendar and making sure that everything's done and written and that you have enough lead time based on the length of your promotion. So give yourself some time. As you map it out, you can start to break this down into steps of when things are going to be written, when things are going to be photographed, when the content's going to be written, how you're going to be promoting, getting all that stuff curated. So when it's go time, you're ready to schedule it and get it live right away. All right, so that was a lot. I felt like I sped through it, but I felt like that was a pretty comprehensive plan. So, we're going to really take these concepts and ideas and break it down even more simply for you in the 5-day jewelry promotion challenge. And we're really, really excited for it. And I hope you will join us for Pretty Little Profits, the 5-day jewelry promotion challenge, which is coming up on April 24th. It starts on April 24th. We'll start really taking intake next week for it. So that's when we're going to be accepting you into the group. But you can get on the waiting list right away by heading on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/promo challenge. That's flourishthriveacademy.com/promo challenge. I'll also have a link in the show notes. I mentioned a lot of resources today, so I'm going to link all of those in the show notes. You can head on over to flourishthriveacademy.com/episode 87. That's flourishthriveacademy.com/episode 87. And you can grab all those resources that I mentioned, including our jewelry promotion cheat sheet, over on the show notes. So make sure that you check it out. Alrighty, my friends. Thank you so much for listening today. As usual, it's been a pleasure to be here on the Thrive by Design podcast. Hey, I just want to throw this out there. If you like what you're hearing on the show, I'd love for you to share our podcast with your friends and other jewelry makers. So you can do that in a couple of ways. You can share it in some of the jewelry groups that you're part of, share it with friends that you know specifically who are jewelry designers, and just spread the word. If you are enjoying this, we'd love to have you share it with your friends, because we are here to spread the love and help all jewelry designers and makers build better businesses and create unforgettable brands. That's what we're all about. All right, thanks so much for listening today. Until next time, take care. This is Tracy Matthews signing off.